One, I love watching entrepreneurs succeed. I love watching someone who has been trying and trying and struggling and 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 they're not succeeding, and then all of a sudden they realize there's a better way to get work done, and they start outsourcing stuff, and they start getting that person doing the right things for them and doing it the right ways, and all of a sudden they start succeeding, and I love watching that happen, and I watch it every single day. But and then the second reason I give this presentation to you guys is I have a goal of helping 1 million people in the Philippines get jobs. And I'm well on my way to that. And so I hope that by the end of this, you guys will have enough knowledge and confidence to go out and help me get a little bit closer to that goal by hiring people so that you guys can start succeeding in your businesses. So, okay, a little bit about me. Just so you guys know, when I got started doing this, I didn't have very much. You don't have to be super successful to make outsourcing work for you. I wasn't. And I think that's important that you know that you don't have to be a 7-figure marketer in order to make this work for you. I didn't at the time. Since then, things have changed a lot for me. This is me and my family on the beach in Costa Rica, where we spent a month because we could. This was actually the first of the mini retirements that we've taken. We just recently finished our third, and we spend a month or 6 weeks because we can, because I have other people doing my work for me. So this is some of the places that I've been over the last couple of years. There's New York with my wife, and Philippines, and London, Thailand, on the beach in California with my beautiful daughter. So I don't show you this so you think, wow, that's really cool. I show you this so you know this is real, that I practice what I preach. When I say the 17-hour work week, I live that. It's not just some theory that I came up with that I thought, wow, that'd be really great to teach people this when I don't really live it. This is what I do. I live this. And it's very possible, and it's actually closer than you guys think for being able to live it. This is the golf course that I play every day, and that's not totally true. I don't play it every day. I don't like to play on Saturdays because of the crowds, and I don't play on Sundays for religious reasons. But other than that, I try and play pretty much every day. And so, this is what I choose to do with my time. I spend it with my family, I spend it traveling, and I spend it playing golf, because I have other people doing my work for me. So, okay, real quick, before I go any further, can you guys type a question into the questions box and let me know that you can hear me? I did this once where we talked for like an hour and nobody could hear us. Okay, good. I see them. All right, I got like 50 people typing yes. Good. Okay, so now you know a little bit about me and kind of what I'm about and how I live my life. Let's talk about you now. You look at this slide, and this is internet business. The HTML and PHP and JavaScript and hosting and Ajax, and I know you look at this, and this is scary. You don't know how to do these things. You don't know how to do all these things. Maybe you know a couple of them. Maybe you do know how to do all these things, but you don't have the time to do them all. But this is the reality of a lot of internet business. And I know this is scary because I graduated from college in computer science, and this is scary for me still. And so what I would hope to get to you guys today is that you can get all these things done. You just don't have to be the one doing the work. And in the end, what it's going to come down to is communication. How well do you communicate with someone else to get them to do this for you? I want you to know how to find people who can do these things for you, who either they already know it or they can learn it for you. Regardless, you shouldn't have to be doing these things. There's other people that can do them for you, and it's very, very reasonable. Okay. I want you to know how reasonable this is, so let me play this for you guys, and I want to make sure that...
Hey John and the Replace Myself team, Lisa Schwartz here with Online Media Magic. Just got through with a SEO customer of mine. I do some SEO consulting work for them. And I had my video camera with me, and I remember that you were asking how the outsourcing was going with my guys in the Philippines. And I wanted to share a little bit about that. What I do is I bring my video camera here. One of the SEO elements that I use is video to get backlinks to the site, to bring some high authority page rank to websites. And for my customer today, I took a little bit of raw footage. I like the reality style videos. And then I send that raw footage to my VAs in the Philippines. They take that footage, they insert some images from the customer's website, including some stock photos and other information, and then they distribute that video, which is finished, to all the video distribution sites, getting some really nice backlinks to the site. And of course we do a few other things for them as well. So I just wanted to let you know that things were going great. This is one way that the outsourcers help us, among many ways for our SEO consulting business here at Online Media Magic. And our customer today just signed up for a 90-day search engine optimization plan, so I collected a $5,000 check. So
okay, so I show you that so that you guys know that you can do this. What I'm about to show you, you can do this. You don't have to be you don't have to be crazy good. This is easy, it's doable, and it works. And it works. So really quickly, I get this email from Matt one day, and I opened it up, and Matt couldn't even put on a normal shirt to send me this video. And I've talked with Matt, and he's a smart dude. But real quickly, I want to show you what Matt says about this.
This is Matt Lewis in Dallas, and John Jonas. I just wanted to thank you for the great information you put out on the calls on how to replace yourself. It wasn't until I was exposed to your knowledge of outsourcing, and especially finding people in the Philippines. I'd never even heard of that before. I've actually even been to the Philippines before, and I never actually even thought that that was possible. But since getting the information from you, I've hired a Filipino probably almost a year ago or so. It's been a little while. He's worked out great, and he does so much for me that I used to have to do myself, and consequently a lot of it didn't get done in a timely manner because I didn't want to do it. Things like article marketing, submitting manual submissions to article directories, he does that. Bookmarking, he does that too. If I need a blog to be built, he will install the WordPress blog, he'll configure it, he'll customize the template, he'll do whatever basically I tell him to do. It's just been a really, really positive experience.
Okay, so this, I want you guys to know three things before we get started. This is easy. You can do this, and it works. It works, and it works really well for internet businesses. So let's talk about this then. When I typically talk about outsourcing, I find there are three problems. Knowing where and how and specifics of hiring someone is the second problem that people have, and we're going to talk about that today. And the third problem is knowing how to keep someone busy, what to have them do for you, how to train them, and we're going to cover that today. The number one problem that people have is knowing what's possible with outsourcing, because traditional outsourcing is, people hear outsourcing and they think of communication problems, they think of headaches and poor work and late deliverables, and it's really difficult, and it's a babysitting job, and that's not how outsourcing should be. Outsourcing should be a lot easier and better and more productive than that for you, and after today it will be. So, before you can do this correctly, you have to understand what's possible. So let me tell you a couple things about, just to illustrate to you what's possible with outsourcing. Here's a quick story. A little over 3 years ago, my wife is 7 months pregnant with this little girl, our third child, and we had these other two kids at the time, and we went into the doctor, and he had run some tests, and he says to my wife, "You have preeclampsia, and if you don't go on strict bed rest for the next 3 to 5 weeks, you're going to go into seizures and die, and you're going to lose this baby." Which to me, was obviously a shock. I mean, I was running my own business at the time. I was working full time in my business. I was just told that my wife's going to die, and the only thing I could think of was I'm not about to lose a baby over money, and I can't work for the next 3 to 5 weeks. I can't work until she has this baby. And so on the way home, I'm thinking about how I'm going to deal with this. And when I got home, I sent an email to two of my guys in the Philippines and said to them, "Look, here's my situation. I can't work. Here's why. Here's what's going on in my life. I need you guys to take over my business. I need you to start doing all the things that I'm currently doing in my business, like my AdWords account and article marketing and video marketing and my blog and comments and forums and software and updates and bugs and customer support and all the things that I was currently dealing with." I told them that I needed them to do it. And I'm not going to feed you guys any BS there. I'm going to be totally honest with you. These guys weren't guys that I just pulled off the street. I had them working for me for a while, and I had trained them on a lot of this stuff. So for the next 3 weeks, I literally worked 1 hour. My wife had the baby 3 weeks later, and for the next 2 months after that, I worked an hour a week because I had replaced myself in my business. I had other people doing my work for me. So during those 2 months, 3 months, the 3 weeks before my wife had the baby and the 2 months after my wife had the baby, we made about $800,000. And I'm not saying that it's not because my guys and I had people overseas doing my work for me. That's not why we made the money. I had set the business up to run pretty well, and it was going to make a bunch of money regardless. The point is that the business didn't fall apart when I wasn't there. I had other people doing the work for me, and lest you guys think that these were Harvard MBAs doing this work, these guys were making about $250 an hour or a month. $250 an hour, yeah, that'd be great. These guys are making about $250 a month for full-time work, like 40 hours a week, and that $250 is completely tax deductible. It's a business expense, so I can write it off. I'm not paying their insurance. I'm not paying their taxes. I don't have an office over there, so I'm not paying utilities or anything like that. So after tax savings, this $250 is really costing me like $180 a month or so for full-time work. And these guys are running my business for me. So as you would imagine, I learned a lot of stuff during this time. During these 3 months. First of all, I learned just how good these guys in the Philippines were, because before this I had no clue how good they were. I'd had them working for me for a long time, but I didn't realize what they could actually do. I still had them just doing, menial tasks, and I learned how good they are. I also learned this is the way to live the lifestyle that I've always wanted. This is how you do it. I never knew this before, but I learned there's always work to be done. It's a matter of who's doing the work. Because up to this point, it was me doing the work in my business, and now it was someone else. And so I learned this is how you do this. So it came time for me to start doing work again. After 3 months of doing nothing, there's only so much nothing you can do before you've got to start working again. You get bored. And so I was going to start a business based around taking this outsourcing thing to the far extreme that I could imagine. So before I tell you what that business is, let me tell you a couple things. This is not about Dell. This is not about big business or business process outsourcing, which is what you hear about so much. This is about you hiring an individual person to do your work for you. Here's how you're going to do this. You're going to hire an individual person. You're going to hire them full time, and you're going to teach them everything you know about your business so that over time they can run your business for you, and you can step away and do the things that you really want to do. It's not about Dell shipping an entire division of their company overseas. This is about you getting the things that you're currently doing in your business done by someone else. And then also the things that you're not doing because there's not enough time in the day, done by someone else also. This is also, really quickly, not about Elance and it's not about India. The problem with Elance, I'm going to talk about this really quickly. The problem with Elance is it's not automation. And there's definitely a place in outsourcing for Elance. And when I say Elance, I mean any one of these sites, like Odesk or Guru.com or Get a Freelancer or Rent a Coder or Scriptland. There's like 15 of these sites. It's just not automation. You're not changing, you're not taking any less time to get the work done. You're just working differently to get that work done. You're not working on your business when you're using Elance. You're still working in your business. And it's really difficult to run a long-term business that way. Also, really quickly, this is not about India. If you guys have tried this before with India, give it another shot with what I'm about to tell you. I get this all the time from people where they say, "Oh, I tried that." Well, what'd you do? "Oh, we hired this company in India, and they were always late, and it was so difficult, and the work was always wrong." Okay, that's enough. I don't want to hear any more. There's just people in India are good people. They mean well. There's just communication barriers that exist there that don't exist in other places, specifically in the Philippines, that will make this a completely different experience for you. So if you've tried it before, give it another shot. Okay, before I show you how to do this, let's talk about one last thing. When I say implement everything, I mean you should be implementing all the things that you learn. All the things that you know about, the tactics and techniques, you should be implementing them. You know, all the ebooks you've bought, all the membership courses, all the DVDs and the seminars you've attended, you need to be implementing all this stuff in your internet business. If you're not implementing them, you're falling behind. You just shouldn't be the one doing the work. Your job is not to be out setting up a WordPress blog or writing an article and submitting it to the article directories and doing social bookmarking for you. That's stuff that someone else can easily and cheaply do for you. Your job is to be the CEO and understand the goals and the direction of your business and understand the sales processes and the marketing that it takes to get you there. Your job is not to be doing the menial tasks every day. Because if you are, you're not the CEO of your business. So let me tell you really quickly one last thing so you understand what's possible here. Here's the business that I started when it came time for me to go back to work. Like I told you, I was going to take this to the far extreme that I could possibly imagine. So what we were going to do, we were going to put up a website and write reviews about products. And so I found a niche and I bought a domain and then I recorded myself talking for 45 minutes explaining the process, explaining the goals and the marketing behind it and the direction of the business and why we're doing what we're doing and what we're going to do and what these guys are going to do for me and how they're going to do it and the steps, like step 1, step 2, step 3, the process for doing these things. And I recorded it all. I talked my way through the whole business plan. And then I sent it to one of my guys in the Philippines along with the domain. And so here's what he did. He takes the domain and sets it up on my hosting account and installs WordPress on the domain and starts changing the theme according as I've talked about in my audio. And he sent it back to me when he's done, and frankly, it wasn't all that good. So I had to go back and make a whole bunch of changes to it, like, I like this piece, but I don't like that, and I want you to move this here, and let's change this like this. And so I sent it back to him, and he makes a whole bunch of changes, and it's really close to what I want now. And so I sent it back to him again and with some instructions, and then he gets it right, and it's all, the site is up how I want it. So the point in this isn't that I didn't do anything. The point is that I'm being the CEO. The point is that I didn't do the work. I just gave the instructions. I gave the communication to get it done correctly. So after that, he goes out and starts marketing it. After that, he starts writing reviews. And so he writes the first review about the first product, and frankly, his review wasn't all that well done. And I realized then I had to give him some pretty specific instructions. So I did. I gave him, like, here's where you get your data. Here's what you're writing your review about. Here's how you structure it. So I gave him some pretty specific instructions for how to do that. He changes the review and gets it right. And now I've never had to deal with another review again. So again, the point isn't that I didn't do anything. The point is that I didn't do the work. After that, he starts marketing it. He starts doing article marketing and video marketing. He sets up an AdWords campaign and follows it through until it's profitable. And he starts doing directory submissions and social bookmarking and social networking and Squidoo and Facebook and MySpace and RSS feeds and Craigslist and all the things that you hear about that you know you should be doing in your business, but there's not enough time in the day to do. Well, there were now 2 of me building my business. And not 2 of me, but there was me doing the CEO part, and there was someone else doing the implementing. So that business in the first month made me about $200. And within 3 months, it's making me about $1,000 a month. Within 6 months, it's making $3,000 to $5,000 a month. Within a year, it's making $10,000 to $15,000 a month. And I didn't do the work for the business. Not that I wasn't involved at all, because I was, but I just wasn't the one doing the work. So when I say implement everything, I mean you should be implementing everything that you learned. You just shouldn't be the one doing the work. Someone overseas should be that person for you. So let's show you how to do that. So before I talk about the Philippines, do you guys have any questions? Anything to add up to this point?
The only thing is that I've outsourced to 5, 7 different countries, and I do currently have people in multiple countries other than the Philippines too. But I know you're going to get into the Philippines itself, but yeah, you can pretty much show somebody how to do something, and then I don't say never have to do it again, just like you said, but it's almost like you now become the CEO and the manager of it. You just make sure it's right, and then you don't worry about it. I completely agree. We do the exact same thing. Yeah,
and all of a sudden, when you start focusing on better things, it becomes a lot easier to succeed with this. So, okay, so when I talk about the Philippines, I mean specifically and only the Philippines. I don't mean South America. I don't mean Asia. I don't mean Africa. I don't mean Eastern Europe. I don't mean Cambodia or Vietnam or Thailand. I mean only the Philippines. There's a specific set of cultural differences that exist in the Philippines that doesn't exist anywhere else in the world that makes this so different than any other outsourcing you've ever heard of. So before I talk about those cultural differences, Let me show you a picture. This is a picture of 6 of the 10 full-time people that I have working for me. And I show you this picture for 2 reasons. One, I want you to know a little bit of kind of what kind of people you can find. So these people all make between $200 and $700 per month for full-time work. I only hire full-time people. This guy is a full-time PHP programmer. I can have him do anything I want, any sort of coding or managing hosting accounts or servers or anything technical that I want done, he can do it. And I mean, to the point where we have a system that runs on 49 dedicated servers. He deals with the entire thing. He built the entire thing. So you can find amazing technical people. This guy is also a very good programmer. He's also a good graphic designer. So I can have him design logos, or I can have him design web pages, or I can have him do layouts of things for me. And then he's also very good technically, so it all works out. Which, just so you know, those 2 skills in the same person are really hard to find, even in the Philippines. Anywhere in the world, even in the Philippines. These 4 other people are all pretty similar. And let me tell you some of the things that they do for me. These people will do research for me. So they'll give me all the data that I need to decide what I should be doing in my business. You know, what niches we should do, what domains we should buy, where the direction we should take the business based off of research that they do. So I can make educated decisions. They will also build websites. They'll set up WordPress sites. They will make them look how I want them to look. They will write the content for the sites. They'll do the marketing for the sites. You know, they do directory submissions and social bookmarking and social networking and building a mini net and writing content and writing articles and creating videos and submitting them to video sites and all of these things that I keep mentioning. This guy, he started off doing all those things. Now he is somewhat of a project manager for me. So here's tip number 1. Do not go out and try and hire a project manager up front. In the Philippines, they do not have the educated workforce that we have here in the US. So it's really hard to find someone to manage projects, someone who has experience in internet business to manage internet projects for you. Not that you can't find it. It's just really hard because they don't have the educated workforce that we have here. So I recommend you do not go out and try and hire a project manager up front. Hire a single person to do a single task for you. And I'll give you some examples of those. So this guy, after years of kind of learning from me, he's now a project manager for me. And frankly, he's really good at it. These people also, manage my AdWords account. They will do single tasks for me like, hey, my passport's expired. This is one of the things I gave him. Hey, my passport's expired. What do I do? So the next day in my email, I get a note that says, it has 2 things. If your passport's expired like this, then do this. If your passport's expired and you're like this, do this. And it was like I'd been putting this off for like 6 months because I didn't know what to do. And overnight I had the answer in my inbox. It was amazing. So there's all kinds of things. Just so you guys know, I don't have a picture here of her, but I have a girl that makes phone calls to people in the U.S., to customers in the U.S., and if you got a phone call from her, you would never know that she wasn't in the U.S. You would probably know that she wasn't born and raised here because there's a slight accent, but you would completely be able to understand her. She would understand you. She'd be super helpful. That's how good their English is. English is a primary language in the Philippines. It's not like a secondary language. It's a primary language where elementary school is taught in English in the Philippines. So the communication barrier kind of isn't there. Okay, so let's talk about, oh yeah, I'm so glad I thought about this. The second reason I'm showing you this picture, over time as I've done this, as I've taught this to people, I've gotten the idea that people feel, sometimes you get the idea that these are robots, that these are, just replaceable, just get another one, or they're kind of trash or throwaway, or, I don't really have a good way of putting that, but I show you these pictures so you know these are human beings. So you know that they're real people with feelings and families and needs and wants and problems in their lives. Please treat them as such. Treat them. The better you treat them as human beings, I know it's hard to recognize this sometimes, where that thing on the other side of that email that's 14,000 miles away is a person, and maybe they're just going through a hard time, and maybe that's why they're not as productive right now as they have been in the past. If you'll seek out those problems and recognize that they're just having a hard time, you'll have a way, way better experience doing this than otherwise, where if you kind of treat them like a robot, like, oh, they only wrote 4 articles today instead of 5. That's no good. Get rid of them. So, and I know that's a little bit harsh, and I understand that, but I've done enough of this to know that if you don't the earlier you recognize this, the better off you're going to be. And I will tell you this: I've heard of a time where a guy was not treating them well. I cannot tell you the anger. You will grow to love these people as they do good work for you and your business, and I'll talk about some of that stuff. Okay, so let's talk about the Philippines culture. In the Philippines, and just so you guys know, this is my thoughts and my experience in doing this over the last 5.5 years. There's no website you can go to that says, why does outsourcing to the Philippines work so well? This is just what I've seen. In the Philippines, there is a culture of honesty to the point where my guys have access to my credit cards. They have access to my bank account. They have my home address. They have usernames and passwords to my email accounts. They have usernames and passwords to my hosting accounts. They have root access to my servers. They have usernames and passwords to my PayPal accounts. The only thing they don't do is they don't pay themselves. Because if they paid themselves, they would know how much each other made. Now, having said all of that, I will tell you I've helped literally thousands and thousands of people hire Filipinos. Never once have I heard of a problem with dishonesty. But just because I say that, don't go out and do something stupid that you're not comfortable with and get yourself ripped off. And please don't come back to me and say, someone on this webinar is going to come back to me and say, oh, I trusted that they were honest and I got ripped off. And, don't do something you're not comfortable with. Now, just because... having said that, it shouldn't take you guys as long as it took me to recognize how honest they are and how much they want to help you in your business. In the Philippines, they are loyal almost to it being a fault of theirs, to where once you hire someone, they'll never quit working for you. So what this means is when you hire someone, you can start teaching them things about your business, knowing that this person is not going to quit. And the really great thing about it, and I'm so glad I don't have this written down here, but in the Philippines, they think like we do. Like, they're very, very westernized. So if you leave something out in your instructions to them, they'll read between the lines and they'll try and figure it out. For example, recently I gave one of my guys the task of setting up an account in one of my systems for someone. And I sent him, hey, set up an account for this guy. And he sends me back an email, and this is in the middle of the night while I'm sleeping. He sends me back an email that says, sir, I don't have his email address. What's his email address so I can set up his account? And then 2 minutes later, he sends me another email that says, sir, is this his email address? I went and searched online to try and find it for you. Is this his email address? So immediately, he's trying to solve the problem. He's, reading between the lines, figuring out the problem, figuring out the solution to the problem. And you'll recognize this will happen all the time to you where they're trying to solve the problem for you. So the fact that they're so loyal means that once you start training this person, you can afford to put a little bit more effort into training them because they'll never quit working for you. In the Philippines, they're also very intelligent. They have bachelor's degrees, and that's a post-high school bachelor's degree. Okay, in the Philippines, they have computers and internet access, which means you don't have to go over there and set up an office. You don't have to go through a service to find someone. You can find them directly and they can work from home, which makes it way cheaper. They're very hardworking culturally, and they speak American English, which is very different than Indian English, and that's super important in your business. So let me kind of... Okay, this is a little bit crazy. In the Philippines, they actually like America, which is different than most of the rest of the world right now. And I know that... Okay, so let me pause here for a second. I keep talking about America, and I say America because I'm in the U.S. I will tell you guys that this works. I know that this works all over the world. I've talked to people all over Europe. I've talked to people in Colombia, Brazil, Mexico, people in Singapore, Thailand. This works everywhere. Filipinos really, it's more about having a foreign boss than it is an American boss. Also, just so you guys know, they don't have a problem working for females, so this will work just as well for a male as it will for a female boss. So in the Philippines, they look up to foreigners to the point where when you give this person a job, you just elevated their social status. The Philippines is a very, very third world country. You just gave this person a job working for a foreigner, so you elevated their social status. They're working from home on their own hours, which is a dream for anyone. you're paying them more than anybody they know is making. And maybe not anybody they know, but I'll tell you two stories. One of my guys told me that he lends money to his dad on a regular basis because he makes so much more money than his dad does. He makes $450 a month. Another one of my guys told me that he's teaching all of his friends how to do what he does because he makes more than double what any of them make. He makes $450 a month. So you just gave this person a full-time job, which it is hard to find a full-time job in the Philippines. There's so much temporary and part-time work that when they get a full-time job, it makes all the difference in the world. So you just gave this person a full-time job, working for a foreign boss, so you elevated their social status. They're working from home on their own hours. They're making more than anybody they know. And what ends up happening is they will do anything to make you happy to make sure that they keep their job. They will work their tails off for you to make you happy. Okay, so in kind of as an ending to this cultural thing, I know as I was telling you guys the business that they built me that makes me $10,000 to $15,000 a month, you're thinking, why don't they just go do it on their own, right? Here's why. In the Philippines, they are not entrepreneurial. They don't want to do it on their own. They want a paycheck. They want a stable, secure paycheck so they can take it home to their family and support their family. They don't want to rip you off. They don't want to start their own business. It's too risky for them. They just want a paycheck. And so when you combine all these things together, it really, really makes for a different experience when you're doing this. Okay, so now that I've talked about that, let's talk about how you find people. I know this is what you guys have been waiting for. Okay, when I got started at Agents of Value. It's agentsofvalue.com. It's an American company. They have offices in the Philippines. They recruit people in the Philippines and bring them into the office, and they lease that person back to you. So the good thing is that they're leasing them back to you and only to you, so that person's working for you full time. I'm not going to say a whole lot about Agents of Value because I know the owner and I know a couple of guys that do recruiting for them. I'll just say that over the last couple of years they've kind of gone downhill, and I'm not exactly sure what's going on. I just know they're having a hard time recruiting people. They're having a hard time keeping people. And I've already told you guys that you can hire people for $250 a month, and they're charging you $750 a month. And I happen to know that they recruit at the same places that I do because I know a couple of the recruiters that work for them. So I give you Agents of Value as an option in case these other couple things aren't right for you. But honestly, right now it's not the best option. Currently, the best option is onlinejobs.ph. The best place to find people is at onlinejobs.ph. And I'm going to preface that by telling you guys I own onlinejobs.ph. And so I told you in the beginning I was going to be totally honest with you. However, you'll see in a second why it's the best. Before I started onlinejobs.ph, the best place to find people by far was bestjobs.ph. So let me show you this and then I'll tell you what happened. So here's onlinejobs.ph. A couple things to notice. First of all, it's onlinejobs.ph. It's a Philippines website. Everything's in English. Here's bestjobs.ph. Again, everything's in English. So here's how you use this. On the left side, there's job seekers, employers, and resources. Under employers, we're going to click on resume search. Don't click on job search. People so often want to click on the job search thing to the right. On the next page, we're going to change two things in searching for people. We're going to change the resume date and we're going to change the keywords. We're going to change the resume date to be a month or less. Here's why. I found that in Best Jobs, most of the resumes are older, and if I don't change it to be a month or less, then I'm emailing people that have already found jobs, and this goes back to the loyalty thing. They're so loyal that when they have a job, if you email them telling them about another job, they're so loyal they won't even respond to your job inquiries. So I found that if I change it to be a month or less, I spend a lot less time emailing people who aren't going to email me back. The second thing we're going to change is under the keywords, I'm going to search for English writer. So in my experience, the number one most important qualification that is required when hiring someone for an internet business is their English skills. Everything else can be taught. They can learn HTML and FTP and WordPress and blogging and articles. You can't teach English. Hire them for their English skills. You'll be glad you did. Okay, so let's search. Now, results 1 through 20 of over 2,300. That's a lot of results for people who their resumes are relevant for English writer. And what do they say about themselves? Content writer, blog writer, creative writer, marketing writer, article writer, web content writer. You know, these are the kinds of things that I want to hire someone for in my business. Let's look at a couple of these now. I'm a professional mainstream and adult writer with 4 years of relevant experience. I've served numerous clients, mostly Americans and Europeans. So that's perfect English. As we scroll down here, education, bachelor's degree in mass communications. Okay, just like I said, everyone you find will have a bachelor's degree, basically. Experience, 3 to 4 years of experience. Employment situation, temporarily employed, which means they have a part-time job, and it's going to end at some point, which is so typical in the Philippines. Salary expectations, 10,000 Filipino pesos. Okay, let me tell you what this means. This is always a monthly number, and it's usually in Filipino pesos. So the current conversion rate between Filipino pesos and US dollars is about 43 to 1. So the way you convert is you divide 10,000 by 43, which, let me pull up a calculator here, is about $232. So this person is asking for $232 per month, available immediately, part-time. So, you know, actually full-time, that's a pretty expensive person, like $460 a month. That's pretty expensive, but their English is perfect. Okay, so let's look at another one. Marketing writer, content writer, blog writer, SEO writer. I'm looking for a long-term online job as a marketing writer, content writer, blog writer, SEO writer. I graduated with a degree in English, literature, and language from a reputable Philippine State University. I have a good background in SEO, WordPress, link building, website. You know, that looks like a pretty dang good person. A bachelor's degree in English language, perfect. Experience, 3 to 4 years. Employment situation, unemployed, big surprise. Salary expectations, negotiable. Let me tell you what negotiable means. You know, remember I told you about the guy that is a good programmer and a good graphic designer? So when I hired that guy, his salary said negotiable. And I really wanted to hire him because those two skills in the same person are almost impossible to find. Even in the Philippines, anywhere in the world, it's hard to find that kind of a person. So I really wanted to hire him, and so I worked out all the details with him, and his salary expectations said negotiable. And so when it finally came down to it, I asked him, how much money do you want to make? And he said, $1,100 a month. And I said to him, okay, I will find someone else. Because I know that for $1,100 a month, I can hire 3 people. And so he said, wait, what did you want to pay me? I said $450. He said, great, when can I start, sir? So when it says negotiable, it means negotiable. Now, I am not advocating that you take advantage of people. I'm not advocating that you underpay people. He doesn't make that now. I'm just saying negotiable means negotiable. Available immediately, full-time, home-based, 29 years old, male. Okay, let's look at another one here. Article writer, content writer. I'm an enthusiastic web freelance writer who's currently looking for a full-time job. Since last year, I've been a writer with American, Australian, and British clients. Okay, so, you know, pretty good English. Bachelor's degree, 1 year of experience, self-employed, and $300 a month. Okay, I'm showing you this one just so you guys are aware of some of the things you might find. Employment situation, self-employed. Immediately, that's a red flag to me. Filipinos are not entrepreneurial. So for him to say they're self-employed, you know, I'm starting to question this. Then, salary expectations, $300. Typically, someone asking for US dollars, in my experience, knows a little bit too much about working for Americans. And I know that I can get the same skill set from someone else for a lot less if they're asking for Filipino peso. Not that I wouldn't hire someone who's asking for US dollars if they were the right person. I'm just saying that in general, I'm going to shy away from it. Available immediately, full-time or part-time. You know, looks pretty good other than those two things. Okay, so to access the details of this candidate, log into the control panel first. So this is how you contact people. If you haven't registered your business yet, please click here. Here's how you register to get onto the site. Here's what happened. About a little over a year ago, the owners of bestjobs.ph went crazy. And when I say they went crazy, I mean I've never seen anything like this before. One day they decided they don't want anybody hiring Filipinos anymore. So they shut the site down. They banned everyone's accounts. No refunds, no warnings, no questions asked. They just shut it all down. And for like a year, you couldn't get access to the site anymore. There was no way to sign up. There was no registration page. And so a little while back, they started allowing registrations again, and this is so funny. This will tell you how crazy these people are. And you I know you're thinking to yourself, why would they do that? That doesn't make any sense. And I agree with you. It doesn't make any sense. These people, I don't have an explanation for it, but here's what happened. So when they started allowing registrations again, you start filling out your information, username, password, business name, contact name, address, describe your business. Then you have to check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 check boxes saying that you have given them everything true and correct. You will not violate any of their terms of service. Nothing you're doing is against the law. You will not do anything that's against their will or their whims or whatever side of the bed they woke up on this day, because if you do, no warnings, no questions asked, they will ban your account, no refund. There's nothing you can do about it. So I show you Best Jobs because it's a totally valid place to hire people. I just want you to be aware of what you're getting into with it. So, just be careful if you're going to use Best Jobs. So when all this happened, when these guys went crazy and they started banning everyone's accounts, I said, you know what, there's got to be a better way to hire people in the Philippines than dealing with these crazies. That's when we started onlinejobs.ph. So a couple things about online jobs. First of all, we started this for the purpose of Filipinos getting online jobs with American companies. That's the tagline. So that anybody here, they're looking to work for a foreign company. They're looking to work from home. They have computer and internet access, which is different than any other website where you're finding people. Where typically Filipinos are looking to get hired by a Filipino company in the Philippines. So up front, these people are looking for online work. Also, we go through an expectation process with them where we tell them, here's what an American company will expect of you. Here's what you can do to make it a better experience. Here's what you can do to educate yourself better. Here's what you can expect of them. Here's how they're going to treat you. We go through kind of an expectation process with them so that this is a better experience for you and for them when you get started. Second, instead of letting the Filipinos write their own resumes, which if you ever read a Filipino resume, there's no Filipino resume writing services over there. It's unbelievable how bad they are at it. So instead of letting them write resumes, we said, I want them to rank themselves on these skill sets. And so here's how this site works. On the left side here, under Employer Skill Search, I'm going to search under the English category for writing. Again, just show you how this works. So just searching for those two things, we get over 26,000 results of people who have said they know English on some level. And how is their English? Well, down below you see those green bars where it says advanced. That first person rates themselves as advanced. As I scroll down here, the next person is intermediate, and you can see I kind of cut it off there up at the top. Intermediate, and then advanced, and intermediate, and beginner. So right up front, these people are trying to be honest with you. Now, just so you guys know, often Filipinos just don't know what they don't know. Where I've seen people who rated themselves advanced in English writing, where their English wasn't all that great. And then I've seen quite a few people where they rated themselves as beginners, where really their English was perfect. So just something, again, to be aware of as you're hiring people, that often they don't know what they don't know, and just look into the person you're hiring. Okay, so let's look at a couple of these. First person, article writer, web content writer, virtual assistant, and our researcher. Desired salary, 15,000 Filipino pesos a month. How much is that? We'll put the calculator here again. That's about $350 a month. So $350 a month, 40 hours a week, full-time. They're currently unemployed. They're in their last year of a bachelor's degree in mass communication. My first experience in writing was a local Catholic newspaper as a reporter/correspondent. I write news stories and feature stories, which usually revolve around religious, social. Okay, so that's perfect English. As we scroll down here, so you can see how this works. They rate themselves on all these skills. So these are the general skills. You can see up front, they're intermediate at solving problems quickly and attention to detail, very good at email and gathering information, okay at Google Docs, good at internet browsing. Okay, so let's scroll down and get some more relevant stuff. How's their English? They say they're advanced in it. That's great. Marketing. There's some marketing experience. That's good to see. Advertising, blogging, and copywriting. Those are good skills to have. They're not a webmaster. That's good to know as you hire this person. They're not a programmer. Okay, next skill. Next resume. Web designing, developing, WordPress installation, theme making, editing, visual effects, movie making, logo, banner, graphic design. Okay, as I read this, I can tell this person has written every single thing he's ever seen. And this is what I meant when I said that Filipinos are terrible at writing resumes. Because obviously you're not an expert at all of these things. There's just too many things here. So, but let's look at this person anyway. 19 years old. Desired salary 7,000 pesos a month. Okay, 7,000 is pretty dang cheap. 7,000 divided by 43, $162 a month for full-time work. That's maybe that's right. I don't. 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 Maybe that's maybe that's right. I don't. 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 Through the whole business plan. And then I sent it to one of my guys in the Philippines along with the domain. And so here's what he did. He takes the domain and sets it up on my hosting account and installs WordPress on the domain and starts changing the theme according as I've talked about in my audio. And he sent it back to me when he's done, and frankly it wasn't all that good. So I had to go back and make a whole bunch of changes to it, like I like this piece but I don't like that, and I want you to move this here and let's change this like this, and so I sent it back to him and he makes a whole bunch of changes and it's really close to what I want now. And so I sent it back to him again and with some instructions, and then he gets it right, and it's all the site is up how I want it. So the point in this isn't that I didn't do anything. The point is that I'm being the CEO. The point is that I didn't do the work. I just gave the instructions. I gave the communication. With this developer's task, which to get it done correct. If you've never done this before, that is a really difficult task. So after that, he goes out and starts marketing. If you've never done this before, after that he starts writing reviews. Now I know all kinds of stuff about this person. First of all, I know that they know how to Google. I know that they can find a tutorial. I know that they understand, if they complete it, I know that they understand FTP and scripts and databases and hosting and uploading and MySQL, and I can see their English, and I know that they know all kinds of stuff and they're willing to figure stuff out. The really, really big thing about this difficult first task, and I didn't know this in the beginning, here's what this does. This lets me set the right expectations with people. In the Philippines, culturally, Filipinos feel unworthy. They feel like they're not good enough, like the work that they do isn't going to qualify them, like they're constantly worried about not being good enough. And so especially with a foreign boss where they look up to you so much, this is magnified. And so what this difficult first task does is it lets me set the right expectations with this person. Here's what I tell people when I hire them. You're hired. I expect 40 hours a week from you. Here's your first task. And I tell them the first task. I know that this is a difficult first task. I know that you don't know how to do this. I know that you're scared. I know that you think you're going to fail. That's okay. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to try it. I want you to Google it. See what you can figure out. Find a tutorial. Ask your friends what they know, if they can help you how to do this. When you get stuck on something, because I know you'll get stuck on something because I know this is hard, when you get stuck, I want you to come to me and ask me. Tell me that you're stuck. Ask me how to solve the problem. Tell me what the problem is, because I can help you solve the problem. I know how to solve it. And if I don't know how to solve the problem, I know someone else who does. Or I can find someone else who knows how to solve the problem. We can work through this. What I don't want you to do is I don't want you to disappear. I don't want you to not email me. If you have a problem, you email me. So I'll tell you a story of what happened with my brother. One day my brother had hired his third person. And he texts me one day and says, John, my guy disappeared. I haven't heard from him in a week. What do I do? I responded and said, he's embarrassed. Go find the problem. So like a week later, he calls me and he says, John, you were right. He was embarrassed. He had gotten stuck on something. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know how to solve the problem. So instead of telling me, he just didn't do anything. And he says, it literally took me 5 minutes to solve the problem for him. And now he's back working again and he's doing amazing work. So the difficult first task hopefully lets you set the right expectations with this person and kind of set your working relationship to where they will come to you when they have a problem. Okay, next. Low starting wage. Raise the wage quickly. Give bonuses for good work. Let me tell you what good work means. One time I got a couple stories about this. One time I see someone writing a question and saying, I had that exact experience with the embarrassment thing. Now you know how to solve it. So one time I gave one of my guys the task of doing article marketing. And I gave him some pretty specific instructions on how to do article marketing because, again, you have to teach them how to do the things that you want them to do. They do not know how to run your business for you. You have to train them. So, I told him, here's how you write the articles. Here's how you structure them. Here are the websites you use to submit them to. Here's how long they are. Here's how often you do this. Here's how you do the resource boxes. And I let him go. And article marketing is super effective. And even after, there's so much talk now about how article marketing is not effective, and it is still effective. I'll tell you that right now. And this is a while back, but I remember thinking about it a couple months later where I hadn't heard from him about article marketing. I was getting my daily emails, but I wasn't hearing about article marketing, and so I sent him an email and said, hey, what's going on with our article marketing? I know our website's doing super well, but I haven't heard from you about it. Are you still doing it? Here's the email I get back from him. He says, yes, sir, I'm still doing article marketing, but after doing it the way you taught me for a couple times, I went out and did some research on my own, and I figured out that if I do it like this and like this, instead of how you told me, and if I do it, if I use these websites in addition to the ones you told me, and if I do it this often instead of how often you told me to do it, it's way more effective. I hope that's okay with you, sir. And I'm like, what the heck? What do you say to that? I mean, because if my boss had given me some pretty specific instructions on how to do something, there's not a chance in the world I'm going to go out and figure out how to do it better so that I can make him more money. But I've seen this so many times, I've come to realize this is a normal experience in the Philippines. They will go above and beyond to try and make you happy. So I sent the guy $100 that month, $50 or $100 that month. He was thrilled. So when I say give bonuses for good work, give them bonuses, unexpected bonuses. Next, network. Once you've hired someone and you're ready to hire someone else, ask them who they know, who you can hire. They know people. If they find someone for you, it will take them 3 weeks. Why it takes 3 weeks, I don't know. But I just know it takes 3 weeks. I've seen it quite a few times for them to find someone for you. Be patient. Number 7, let them figure stuff out. Okay, you cannot do this in the beginning because in the beginning you have to train them. You have to teach them how to do things. But once you've trained them on stuff, this is more of a mindset change for you than it is for them. So, in the U.S., when something goes wrong, we're so used to working our butts off to make it right that it's kind of hard to let them figure stuff out when something goes wrong. I was talking with a guy a little while back, and he said, John, my guy's been working great, and then he did something wrong the other day, and I had to go figure out how to do it so I could teach him how to do it. And I said, what do you mean you had to figure out how to do it? He says, what do you mean? I said, why don't you let him figure it out? And I can hear his jaw hit the floor. He says, oh, can they do that? It's like, really? Did you not listen to anything I said about them being smart? Let them figure stuff out for you. Again, you've got to teach them up front, but after a while, it's amazing what they can figure out for you. All of a sudden, they can start teaching you things on how to run your business once they've learned enough. Okay, Jing is made by the makers of Camtasia. It's screen capture and screen recording software. It sits open on your desktop. You open it up, click capture, you drag it out. Oh, come on. Hello, would you work for me? There we go. Okay, you drag it out, capture an image. It captures it. Now you can annotate it. So you can say things like, I like this. Move this here. Whoops, typo there. You can add notes. You can add notes and things to it. So I like this. Move this here. Whoops, not that. That's okay though. As you can tell, I'm just playing around. Here's the real magic of Jing. So you take the screenshot, you annotate it. Now you click a button and upload. Jing uploads it to a server for you and puts the URL in your clipboard so that now all you have to do is click paste into that email, and that image is online immediately for them to see. So they know exactly what you're talking about. Here's the real magic of Jing. Jing will capture the video for you. It'll capture your screen and your voice. So here's how I made online jobs, which, by the way, just so you guys know, my guys built online jobs. They did all the design work for it, all the graphic layout, web page design. They did all the programming work for it. They did all the marketing for it. They're the ones who have gotten so many Filipinos to come join it. So here's how I built it. Open up Jing, click capture, drag it out, and now I'm going to capture a video, and it's going to capture my screen, and I'm going to talk and say, hey guys, look, we have a problem here. This advanced search thing is overlapping. I don't like it. I'd like you to fix that. And then also, this done for you is not really standing out correctly. Highlight it, and this employer skill search, it was on the right side. I would like it on the left. Click stop. Click upload. Jing uploads it to a server for me. You can see it uploading here on the right side. It puts the URL in my clipboard. Now, all I have to do again is click paste. When it's done uploading, there it goes. Click paste. There's that video online. They know exactly what I said. There's no rendering, there's no files, there's no dealing with anything. Hey guys, look, we have a problem. Use Jing. Jingproject.com, J-I-N-G, jingproject.com. Oh, did I mention Jing is free? Unbelievable that people give stuff like this away for free. It's unbelievable to me. Okay, come on, give me my presentation back. Where did my presentation go? There it is. I use Jing almost every single day. It's a complete game changer. No, I use Jing every single day. I use it multiple times every single day. Okay, number 9, record MP3s. Here's how I communicate with people. I've already told you about recording the MP3 that I sent it to my guys. I communicate using Jing, using MP3s, using email, instant messenger, and a project management system. And I'll tell you about the project management system in a minute. I do not talk with my guys on the phone. They don't want to talk to you. They're scared of talking to you because they think you won't understand them. They know they'll understand you because they watch American TV and American movies and American music, but they're really scared about you not understanding them. Also, just so you know, most of them don't have microphones. They can't just easily hop on Skype, so they're a little bit scared about it. Give them access. Give them access to your ebooks. Give them access to your software. Give them access to your hosting account. The more stuff you give them, the easier your life becomes. For me, this is about making my life easier. And the more you give them access to, the easier it becomes. You know, I remember the first time I hired someone, all of a sudden I had to give this guy something to do, and I wanted him to work on my website, so I had to give him access to my hosting account. So I went and created this special access code for him to access it, and he did it. And then the next day I wanted him to work on something else, so I had to go back in and create another special access code. And I realized really quickly, this is lame. This is taking up a lot of my time. I don't want to deal with this, so I just gave him access to my hosting account. I've never had a problem. Give them access to your stuff. It'll make your life a lot easier. Number 12, give them a job. When you hire someone, do not try and tell them, hey, I'm trying to decide between you and 2 other people. I want you to do this task, and then I'll evaluate how well you did it, and then I'll see if I want to hire you. They're scared. They're scared about not getting paid. They're scared about doing work and not getting paid. When you hire someone, give them a job. Say, hey, I like your work, or I like your resume. You're hired. I expect you to work 40 hours a week. Here's your first task. This is a probationary period. So give them a job up front, which next, it brings me to how you pay people. I pay people using Zoom.com, XOOM.com. It's like wiring money. It's like Western Union, but it's cheaper, faster, and easier. Just so you know, Zoom every once in a while will screw up where they won't let you send money. And you know, your Filipinos are depending on you, so you've got to be able to send them money. You've got to know multiple ways of paying people. Other options include PayPal, eMoneyGram, RemitHome.com. There's a couple other options. Every one of these, at some point, will say, nah, we don't think you should be able to send money anymore. And why they do it, I don't know. But also, just so you know, the money, once you've successfully sent the money, they'll never have a problem receiving it. I've never seen a problem with someone like not getting the money and you losing the money. I've never seen that happen. I pay my people monthly, and I require them to send me an invoice every month on the same day of the month. When you get started, you'll probably need to pay people weekly. Again, they're scared about not getting paid, and so when you get started, you'll probably tell them, I'll pay you every week. I want you to send me an invoice. I'll pay you weekly for the first 2 months. After that, once we've established some trust, I'll start paying you monthly. Okay, so let's talk about some customs. I remember the first email I got from someone said, "Dear sir, I hope you had a good and blessed day today. Here are the tasks that I did today. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Thanks and God bless. Name." First of all, they're very religious. Second, I remember my stomach turning over because it was the first time I ever been called sir in my life. And I immediately started a response back that said, "Please don't ever call me sir again." And then I thought better of it, and I'm really glad that I did. I didn't send the email. Every communication I've ever had sent starts with sir or boss or something of the sort. Just leave it alone. You know, it's just a cultural thing that I'm going to encourage you to leave alone. The 13th month, number 14. So in the Philippines, if you are a Filipino employer, it is legally required that after someone has worked for you for a year, that you give them a bonus of 1 month's pay called the 13th month. And actually how it's paid in December. So if you hire someone in January, in December you pay them December salary plus a bonus of 1 month's extra salary. The 13th month. You need to plan for this. Also, this is prorated. So if you hire someone in June, in December you're going to pay them December salary plus a bonus of half of 1 month's extra salary. The Filipinos will expect this of you, but they won't tell you about it. This is really important. So when you hire someone, you need to tell them, at least this is what I tell them. I tell them, I know about the 13th month. I will pay it, but I need you to remind me about it because otherwise I'll forget. You know, I'm not in this to give myself one more thing to do. Again, I'm in this to make my life easier. I need you to remind me. I don't tell them that. I don't tell them I'm in this to make my life easier. But I do tell them, I need you to remind me when it comes time to pay this, and I'll pay you. Okay, number 16, internet problems and power outages. This is the second biggest problem you'll deal with in the Philippines. You will get an email from someone at some point that says, "Sir, I'm so sorry I couldn't work today for 4 hours because we had a power outage, but don't worry, sir, I'll make it up for you tonight and on Saturday." So, you know, how big of a problem is this really? I don't know. You know, at least you know they're being honest with you because they tell you when this happens. You need to figure out how you're going to deal with this. You know, I'll tell you how I deal with this. I frankly don't care. I don't care how much time how much downtime they have. I don't care if they only work 36 hours instead of 40 hours. I don't care if they work 25 hours instead of 40 hours. As long as they're making me more money than I'm paying them, as long as they're profitable for me, I really just like to make their lives better. So, you know, you kind of need to figure out how you're going to deal with this. And you know, again, I'm probably a little bit more lenient than most people are. And so, you know, when you get that email, which you will get it, you know, you probably should have decided ahead of time what you're going to do with that. Okay. Number 17, use recurring tasks. I've just found that if you give them tasks that they can do over and over again, there's always something for them to fall back on when you give them an individual task that, is like a one-time thing. And I'll give you an example of those in a second. Use a task manager. RTM is Remember the Milk. It's a kind of a task management system. Active Collab is more of a fully blown project management system. This is what I use to manage my team. I'll show you how you can get that for free in a minute. Number 19, the daily email. It's there in green. It's on there twice. It's that important. Require them to send you this daily email. Number 20, document what you teach them and be the expert or don't expect much. Again, in the Philippines, they do not have the educated workforce. If you don't know how to do something, don't expect that they know how to do it either. Don't expect that they will do it well without you teaching them how to do it the first time, because it's not likely that they will. You've got to teach them how to do this. They're not affiliate marketers. They don't understand. They're not business people. They're not entrepreneurial. They don't know how to run your business. You have to teach them. Number 22. I do not like this one, but I have it here for a reason. If you feel like you do not have the money to hire someone full-time, if you feel like you don't have enough work to keep them busy full-time, find someone else who wants to hire someone and hire a full-time Filipino and split it with that person. I do not recommend you hire part-time people. Here's the thing with part-time. In the Philippines, there's so much part-time work, and it's always temporary work, that Filipinos don't feel committed to you if you hire them part-time. When you hire them full-time, though, all of a sudden they're super committed to your business and in keeping their job. So it's really more of a difference than just 20 to 40 hours a week. It's really like a 4 times productivity difference. Hire someone full-time. And regardless of what you have to do to get started doing this, just go hire someone. Because this will change the way you think about your business. This will change the way you run your business. This will change how you succeed in your business, because now you have someone else doing the work for you. Get started doing this. Go hire someone. Okay, so here's a quick list of what your guys will do for you. Web 2.0, affiliate marketing, directory submission, AdWords. Yes, I have someone that runs my AdWords account for me. And I know some of you guys are thinking, oh my gosh, how can you do that? They can screw you and lose you so much money. Why would they do that? Now that you know what you know about Filipinos, why would they do that? So they could lose their job? You have to teach them how to run your AdWords account. They don't know how to do it up front, but once you've taught them, they're pretty dang good at it. Squidoo, Facebook, Wikipedia, MiniNet. If you don't know what a MiniNet is, I'm going to show you in a second. It's amazing how easy it is to get to the top of Google when you implement this. Software tools, info product creation, article marketing, blog comments, RSS feeds, pinging, research, Craigslist, video marketing, SEO, other people, copywriting. I have a girl that writes sales copy for me. It's not the best sales copy in the world, but it converts. And I didn't have to deal with it. I didn't have to write it. I didn't have to deal with it. And I'm working with her to help her become better at it. MySpace, press releases, blogging, testing, Yahoo Answers, customer support, filtering email. I have a guy that every day when he's done working, he logs into my Gmail account and he archives all the emails he knows that I don't want to see, so that when I get up in the morning, I have a clean inbox. Again, I'm all about lifestyle. I'm all about living how I want to live. I'm all about playing golf every day, and filtering my email is just one more thing that helps me keep my brain clear so that I can focus on more important things like sales and marketing. MSN SEO, linking, Twitter, forum posting, eBay. Okay, so this is a partial list of things your guys will do for you. Here's a mini note. I'm going to explain this really quickly. So here's how you get to the top of Google. Google says there's 2 things: what your website says, what keywords are on your site, and then more importantly, what other websites say about you. And Google determines what other websites say about you based on links. Every link on the internet is basically a vote saying, I think that website's a good website. So don't go out and put a whole bunch of links on your site to other sites. Now, you have to have some because Google expects it. But really what you want is you want other websites to link to your site, because that's a vote from that other site telling Google your site's a good site and you should get boosted up in the search engines. So how do you do this? Well, one way is to contact other webmasters and say, hey, please link to me. But a better way is, what if you own all those other websites? So here's what this diagram is. These red boxes represent my website. These are pages on my website. All these other boxes are other websites. Every line here is a link. So this WordPress site is linking to me here. Ever.com is linking to me here. Squidoo is linking to me here. Blogger is linking to me here. HubPage is linking to me here. Zanga and Vox and Blogger. All these sites are linking to me. And I don't even know what Ever.com or HubPages or Zanga or Vox are, but I know that they're linking to me. So how do you think I'm doing on Google now that all these sites are linking to me and I have control of all these other sites? I'll tell you, I'm doing pretty dang well. And just so you guys know, This is blurred out because I got tired of finding exact replicas on my website. I got tired of people realizing how much money I'm making and how easy it is and how it's all been outsourced. And so they go and make an exact replica on my website. I just got tired of it. So that's why it's blurred out, because I don't want to find exact replicas on my site anymore. Other than that, there's no magic here other than just building this mini net. And you can have your guys do it for you. So this is that mini net in the beginning. Here's that mini net a little while ago, where here's this blue is my website. These orange is the mini net from the previous page. This blue is an entirely different mini net. This purple is an entirely different mini net. We have all these other things going on. Being number one on Google is ridiculously easy when you implement this concept. And again, you can't just tell them, hey, build me a mini net. You got to teach them how to do it. And I've taught my guys over time how to do this, and created a pretty good training on how to do it. But once they know how, they can do this, and they can do it pretty dang well, and it is super, super effective. Okay, so in kind of finishing this, I had two experiences in the same week that kind of changed how I thought about this and kind of what I realized that people needed. So I was talking with Kurt Christensen about this, and I had helped him hire his second guy in the Philippines, and he says to me, John, the first guy that you helped me hire has put an extra $35,000 in my bank account this year. But when I hire someone, I want to be able to tell them, hey, go join that affiliate link or go join that affiliate program, get the affiliate link, cloak it, and put it on this WordPress blog as a page, not a post. He's like, I can't tell them that. They have no clue what I'm talking about. So he says, I need a system that would help getting a person up to speed so that they're more on the same level as I am. And, as I listened to him about this, I just thought, I don't know what to tell you, because I've just done this over the years for myself. I've just kind of developed the system for myself because I knew I had to train them. So that same week that I had this conversation with Kurt, I got a phone call from my friend Jeff in Boston. This is funny. So, I just helped Jeff hire his first guy, and he calls me frantic, and he says, John, my guy just instant messaged me and says, sir, I finished the first task you gave me. What do you want me to do for the other 7.5 hours today? And Jeff's like, I got stuff for him to do, but it's going to take me 4 hours to teach him how to do this, and I'm busy, and I don't have the time to train him how to do this, and what do I do? So I said to him, what do you want to do? What do you want him to do for you? He says, article marketing. I says, okay, that's fine. I have a training that I've created and given to my guys on how to do article marketing. It's pretty dang good. You can have it. You can give it to your guy. He'll do article marketing. It'll take almost no effort on your part, and he'll start doing it. So it's these two experiences in the same week when it kind of opened my eyes to the last thing that people need, which is, how the heck do you train these people? Because you have to train them. And then I realized I've kept all my trainings over the years. I have all these trainings that I've given to my guys, the same trainings that have helped me build these businesses that make me, $10,000 to $15,000 a month. So here's what I've done. I've put these trainings all into a system that you guys can get access to. Here's how it works. You're going to get access to my training modules. The trainings on how to build a mini ad, how to run your AdWords account, how to do Facebook, MySpace, Skidoo, directory submissions, social networking, social bookmarking, article marketing, video marketing, all these things that I keep talking about, where I've trained my guys on how to do these things, and you're going to get access to my trainings so that you can give them to your guys so that you can train them without having to do the work of training them. Here's how it works. The first month, it's a monthly program. The first month is designed for you, the business owner, to get you going quickly. It's designed to get you hiring someone by avoiding the mistakes and the pitfalls and the difficulties that people have when they start hiring. You can learn my mistakes over the last 5 years so that you can do this quickly. Every month after that, it's not for you anymore. Every month after that, it's for your Filipinos. It's to train them so that you don't have to do the work of training them. If you're an expert at something, great. Give them my training so that you don't have to bring them up to speed and give them every little detail, and then give them your expert training on that subject. If you're not an expert at whatever it is, that's great too. Give them my training. It will get them going so that they're doing that task and doing it effectively for you so that you don't have to create the training yourself. So that maybe you don't have to go out and learn how to do this thing so you can teach it. Because I've learned it and I've created the training and you can have it. Remember, they don't know how to run your business for you. You have to train them, and then don't create analysis paralysis. We have this problem all the time where, your information overload. You give them too much stuff, they have the same problem you do. If you give them too much, they won't do anything. And you know, the same reaction that we have to this. That's why it's a monthly program. Give them one thing. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to hire a single person to do a single task. You're going to give them the training on that task. Once they've done that task and started to do it well, then you can give them another training on another task. So, you know, you hire someone today, tomorrow, in 3 weeks they're doing that task for you. Now you give them another training on another task. In 6 weeks they're doing both of those tasks for you. They're doing them both well. Now you give them another task. In 6 months, all of a sudden you have this person doing 6 things for you that you couldn't have done before. They're all getting done. They're getting done correctly. And now you start succeeding in your business where before you couldn't have done all these things yourself. And I've seen this, so I'll tell you about it. Okay, bonuses. I have a whole bunch of bonuses for you guys today. I'm going to go through this super quickly. Active Collab, the project management system that I use, I went and licensed that from the company that makes it, and you're going to get access to that for free when you join. You're also going to get free access to bestjobs.ph and onlinejobs.ph. So Best Jobs, if you want to join it, I think is $120 for 3 months of access. And Online Jobs is $50 a month. You're going to get access to both of those for free when you join. You're also going to get access to a pre-screened employee list where we go through and kind of pre-qualify people, where we make sure they're ready to work. We make sure they have computer and internet access. We kind of go through this pre-qualification process with them, and we create a list. And you can go through that list. If you don't want to go through the hiring process, you can go through the list and say, I would like to pick, I want this person, and start and have them start working for you. There's an extra fee for that, but it's pretty dang reasonable. I have some specific hiring instructions that you know, like what are the exact steps that I go through when I hire someone. How do you pay your people? I'll explain tools that I use. I'll explain tax concerns. I have some employment contracts. I have a tips and tricks and pitfalls audio where, you know, I've been doing this for a long time and I recorded this, and it's a whole bunch of stuff that I do to make this easier so that you can do this correctly, avoiding a whole bunch of mistakes and things that I've learned over the years. Also, I did a frequently asked questions session where people paid $200 to be on this call, and I answered like 90 questions. These were people who had been hiring. So you'll know up front the questions that people have so you can do this correctly from the beginning. The business in a box. Okay, so over time I've realized that, you know, you listen to this presentation. It's different than anything you've ever heard about outsourcing. You want to do it. You recognize this is how you live the lifestyle that you've always wanted. But maybe you're not ready with your current business to hire someone today to get them started working for you now. So that's what my business in a box is. This is a business that I implement with my team. We do this today. It is direct linking using Google AdWords, sending traffic straight to affiliate programs. Yes, it still works. I know it works because we do it today. My business in a box is designed to get them working for you with little to no effort on your part, so they can start working for you while you set up your current business, so they can work on that business. This is not designed to make you $1 million. It's not going to make you rich. It's designed to get them working for you, hopefully making enough money to pay for themselves. I'll tell you, I had a guy come to a seminar recently where he said to me, you know, John, I hired 2 people. I gave them the business in a box. They're making more than enough money to pay for themselves each month, and I don't even know what they're doing with it. Plus, they're doing all these other things in my business that I wasn't able to do before. So that's the business in a box. In my experience, keyword research is the basis for success in almost any internet business, where you know, if you do keyword research wrong, you're probably struggling. If you do it right, it's certainly going to start you off on the right foot. And I have a whole bunch of keyword research trainings that I've given to my guys, different situations, different scenarios for doing keyword research, and I'm going to give those to you today so that you can get your guys started off on the right foot. Last bonus. I have access to 2 full internet marketing seminars, two full days of internet marketing seminars where some of the best speakers I know of came and spoke. I'm going to give these to you for free. People paid $2,000 to come to this. The reason I'm giving it to you, I have 2 reasons. First of all, you can benefit from it if you choose to watch them. But the real reason, second, is give these to your guys. Let them watch them. They're going to have a pretty dang good education after watching this. So they're more on the same level as you are, so you can talk to them about whatever you need to talk to them about. Plus, they're probably going to have some pretty good ideas that they got from these seminars that you wouldn't have otherwise had because they learned from these amazing marketers. Free when you join. Okay, so when Jack and Peter asked me to do this, they asked me to come up with a couple special things special for you guys. Here's what I have. I have a report that I wrote, the top 7 ROI activities for your Filipino VA, so that you can get them bringing you the best return on your investment quickly. I have another report that's the 14 mistakes that most people make when starting and how to avoid them. You know, these aren't difficult mistakes to avoid. You just have to know that they're there. You have to know that they're there. You have to know how to avoid them. And you're going to be able to do that when you join so that you can shortcut your way to success, so that you avoid the difficulties. This will help you succeed in doing this quickly. So this is a monthly program, like I said before. What I'm going to do for you is I'm going to give you the second module, which is I'm going to let you pick one of my trainings today when you join for free. So typically you would get that in your second month. I'm going to let you pick that one today, and you can pick whichever one it is that's most relevant to you and your business. So if you want them to start building the mini-net for you, great, pick my mini-net training. If you want them to start doing SEO for you, pick my SEO training, or my link building training, or my article marketing training, or my video marketing trainer, or whatever it is. You can pick the one that's most relevant to you and your business. Get them started working for you today, so that person is effective for you as soon as you hire them. Okay, I'm going to show you one more thing. I'm not going to, oh gosh, I don't even know if I have time to play this whole thing.
Hi, this is Steve from Las Vegas. I just want to say a big thank you to John. Your system has really changed my life. I've started using it about 2 months ago, and I've been doing internet marketing now for 3 months, and I wasn't making any money when I came across your system. And I had one website up, and I ended up hiring a guy, and within 2 weeks I started making money. And just last week alone, that one website made me $600. And over the last 2.5 months, I've made $10,100 directly from work that my guys in the Philippines have doing. I now have 3 guys working for me, which is kind of funny because when I was kind of hesitant to first sign up because I thought, I don't know if I have enough work to keep one guy busy. Well, when you have someone to actually implement stuff for you, you find out how much work there actually is that can be done. So I just want to say thank you, John. Your system really works, and it's really changed my life.
So I show you this knowing full well the new FTC guidelines on what you can and can't say in testimonials. And I will tell you guys, this is a typical customer result. I've seen this over and over again where people aren't succeeding. All of a sudden they hire someone, they get that person the right training, they start implementing things in their business, all of a sudden you start succeeding because you're implementing. So, again, I've seen this literally over and over and over and over and over again. So I got to skip through the rest of these. I don't have time to show you these. Okay, the total value of everything that I've shown you today is $8,500. Everything you're going to get over $8,500. I'm not going to charge you that today. The cost is, for the first 22 people today, is $97. It's $97 to join, and it's $97 a month. Here's why it's limited to the first 22. For a long time, I didn't limit it. I just let people join. And what I found was, if I don't limit it, I create hiring competition. We already talked, there's 100 million Filipinos, so there's not a limit to the number of Filipinos that can be hired. But in the websites that we use and the search results that we're getting back, I find that if I don't limit it, people are trying to hire the same people, and it's just not a good experience. So for the first 22 people today, it's $97. Go to replacemyself.
The one thing I do want to add is that obviously I'm in the testimonials part because I use the system. We used Replace Myself to train and to bring up to speed new employees, and there was I've got a couple companies and a couple projects and stuff, but we have project managers that, no kidding, and they're Filipino project managers, and we have U.S. operation type manager stuff. But when we talk to project manager level stuff, they report into our ops guy in the U.S. here. It doesn't even come to me anymore; it goes to the guy in the U.S. And then we bring new people on. We send them right through this training. And the one thing that we didn't talk about when we talked about Jing that I did that I thought that you could potentially add to this too is I do it once, just like this training here that John set up. The training's done once. There's obviously things specific to your business, the way that you like things, the way you want things done. Once you make that